Alright, we're going to do another Lian Li O11 Air Mini build video, but this time it's going to be some upgraded parts from our last video. We're going to go with the Ryzen 7 5800X. You see the 3080. We got the Corsair RMX power supply. Going with the B550 Aorus Elite. We're going to do 2 terabytes, two 1 terabytes of the Sabrent Gen 3 SSDs. It's a gaming computer is what we're building. Gen 3 is all you need. You do not need Gen 4 for gaming. And we're going to go with the liquid cooler this time around. We got the white Lian Li Galahad. So I'm still deciding on which fans. Actually, I'm waiting on my client to tell me which fans they want. I have a bunch of Lian Li leftover fans from the other ones I've done, the 140 mil, which I think would be awesome for performance. But I also have I got a bunch of Cooler Master Sickle Flow fans, 120 RGB, all that. So just waiting on her reply to tell me what she wants. If she wants a maximum airflow performance or RG bling. So we're gonna get to it. We'll get to that. We're going to drop in this graphics card next. EVGA 3080. This thing is a behemoth. So we're going to prep that. Again, graphics card in the closest slot to the CPU. That's your by 16. You're definitely wanting to not hamper the speed. On the back here, I don't know if we can get that in the video. We'll adjust a little bit. On the back side, these thumb screws, pop these little things off, and then you have access to your screwdriver. I'm going to go ahead and pull it for these screws. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of these out. So I believe this is a 2.5 slot card. So we're going to pull out 3 slots. Do this third one just in case. You can always put it back in. Having fingernails is something really good if you're working on these computers. I do not have any. We're gonna peel this off right now before we get any further into this. Again, I have no fingernails, so there you go. Team up, fight on. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and peel these off. Some of you are probably cussing right now. What are you doing? You're peeling it wrong. That stuff is stuck on there. What are you doing, EVGA? Everything's peeled off. Ooh, no red lips on this one. Nothing all black. So, obviously, pop this off. And then you're going to line this up. I've found that whenever I'm putting these graphics cards into some of these little tabs will get stuck back here and prevent you from pushing it all the way in. So you're going to want to watch and make sure that these aren't hanging up and you're going to be thinking something's wrong. Also push that tab down, just like with your RAM. Push that tab down and then you should be able to see it right in there. So I'm paying close attention to those back tabs. I'm lining up my socket. And I'm feeling that, oh, there it goes, dropping right in. I was catching, so now you just snap it in. That's good to go. We'll throw our screws back in here. We can actually put this top expansion slot back in, put our 2 screws in, and we will start putting in the CPU cooler next. So on these screws that you're holding your graphics card in with, you definitely want to get these pretty snug. Because there's a lot of weight on this graphics card, and the more that you can have this bracket supporting the weight of that heavy ass cooler, the better. So I do get these nice and snug. I don't over torque them. I just snug, and then just a little bit more of a effort in that. Man, this is looking good. So we're gonna get this Lian Li Galahad in. This thing right here, we're gonna put this in to where it's crap. Rookie mistake. We're gonna have to take this graphics card back out because I'm putting that in back here. Derp. We'll be right back. So as you can see now, I have plenty of more room. I'm gonna set this in here. I'm gonna try to go tubes up with it and just set it down in here. Yep, I'm gonna have to take out these fan brackets right here as well to get this down in there. So I will quick just show you. It's real easy. You just pull. There's some screws inside of here. Actually, no, they're on the front side. Screws are on the front side, and you just pull them out. I'm just going to show you one of them, and then I'll pause. I'm going to try to make this a 45-minute video, and then it pops up, and it pops right out. So we'll do that, both of them. We'll get that AIO down in there. Here we are 5 seconds later. All right, we're going to get this AIO. I'm going to set this down in here. And then we're going to have to tilt this up and get this screwed in wherever we think we want it. We want it high or low. Being where we're doing, we're having it blow out of the case. I think I want it higher to pull because the heat rises. So I'm going to flip this up, get that screwed in, and then we'll come back to the video. It's just going to be 4 screws on this bracket here. You can see these those lines right here. You'll screw into the back side of this. Actually, it'll be 8 screws just to support it. I've done it with 4 screws on a 360 before. It's just fine as long as you're not traveling with your computer. So yeah, just realize all of these screws just snug. So on the back side, we actually had 2 covers that come with this case. Right here, you have 1 thumb screw, and then it kind of slides in on the side there, like that. You just undo this thumb screw, pop off, and do that. You want to do the bottom one first, and it'll pull out easier, and then do the top one because of these your front I/O cables. You want this one on the top to drop down, and then you can pull it out all the way. So when you're taking these 2 back little panels off that come with this case, pull the bottom one off first, pull it out, and then loosen the top one. It'll drop down. Once you just barely pull it out a little bit, it'll drop down, and then you can pull it out and not have to worry about messing up these cables. On the back side, you can see here's my slots where this 240 mil all-in-one liquid cooler is going to go. They came with 8 screws. We're going to use all 8. So real men use all of the nuts and bolts, and women. I do want to point out that when you're putting this in, you definitely want to magnetize the tip of your screwdriver if you don't have one that's magnetic. This isn't magnetic normally, but I did just rub it on a magnet, and it's picking up these screws fairly easily. So just do that, and then get your 2 top ones started. Line up all your holes, right? All your other 6 holes, and then snug those 2 top ones in while you're holding it. So you're going to be in like this, and then your hand's going to be over on the other side holding it. So magnetic tip for sure. But then after that, I can just focus on the back here and get all the rest of the 6 zipped in. So I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll get back around to the front of this thing. All right, before we put the graphics card in, we're going to apply the paste that came with it. Normally I go with the Thermal Grizzly. I just ran out of that on my computer upgrade, so we're going to use what came with the case, and we're going to use all of it because as long as you're not seeping over into the socket, you can't use too much thermal paste. I mean, you just want to make sure it's all the way covered. So there's lots of critics on there, so we're just going to go with the X, dot, 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 and we're just using all of it. See, used every single bit of it. Screw that, it's trash. Why am I going to save this? It's there in the case, you have it, use it. So with this, you have to change the mounting bracket on this Lian Li Galahad. It normally came with the Intel, but this mounting bracket just slides out on the side here, and it comes with a couple mounting brackets, 3 different ones, right? And this is the AM4 mounting bracket, and it just slides in between this little gap right here, and you can get it lined up, and then it just slides on, and you'll hear it like little click it right there, okay? And when you look at it straight on, you can see just a little bit of it. What is this? Peel this off. Do not install this on, excuse me, not install this on your CPU. So we'll peel it off right whenever we're getting ready to put this on, but I wanted to show you all something else. This is the mount that comes with these. A lot of your coolers is going to have you pulling off these plastic pads, these plastic pieces, all right, and then installing their own proprietary coolers stuff on there. Well, with this, you have these 2 little tabs, and that's how these are going to sit on there. They're going to sit on there. I set these aside. So yeah, these will sit on there, and then this will go on. We want to figure out how we want to do this, like that. Yeah, that's gonna be how it has to go. So we want to make sure our cables. I want to go ahead and get my cables just out of the way. Ooh, almost got those in that. So now we can peel this off. Please remove. You don't want to put this all together and have that stuck on there. So I've never done one of these with this type of bracket, but so this will be interesting. I wonder if I'm going to pop this through first and then loosely screw the screw on. Yeah, I think that's how you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to pop this through and then loosely, just very loosely, just get the threads of that screw started, right? And that way that you can get these to butterfly out and go over the mounting bracket there. And I just got paste on the cable. So we're gonna wipe this up. Be right back. So on this part right here, oh, this is magnetic. You can cover up the Lian Li. This spins on this. I'll ship it to them with it not covered. I was just setting that on there. Got some more peel stuff we'll get to. So these brackets go outwards, so they're like that. And then I just rocked it in. Maybe if I can get this just to pop off fairly easily. No, so I'm not even gonna mess with it. But you want to basically rock it in, hook it on one, and then kind of lay it down and get it on the other one. And then they're good. You're lined up. Make sure you're centered. You are going to fight with these hoses a little bit, not too much. And then we got to remember, you're going to be having some fans up here at the top. So we're going to need to think about our clearance up there too. So I'm just going to put these down a little bit like that. We still have access to our RAM, although it will be blocked. It's just plain white, so that's no big deal. And again, I'm just gonna snug that down each side, just little by little. Until it starts getting to where it's feeling like there's some resistance. Now I'm gonna use my fingers on these thumb screws. And I'm using my weak hand, going back and forth, and you'll feel it bottom out. And that's, you just don't go anymore when you bottom out. Nice and snug, nice and tight. Remember, you are using metal to clip onto plastic, so you don't want to break that, especially if you're trying to do this in a timely manner. So yeah, that spins. It's neat. We're going to now put in the GPU once we stuff some of these wires down through for all of this LED and fans and all of that. So I'm just going to get these back down to the back side. So our GPU is going to come out to here. PWM fan control for the big 140s in the front. I'll worry about that one at the top later. I want to get this GPU in, and I want to start getting on cable management. So we've already peeled this. Does that peel? Is there a peel for that? There is a peel for that. It's like, that's pretty scratched up. No, there's a peel for it. Again, I'm going to socket this down. That's dropped in there nice. Cool. Just use the screws that came with it. The case. There's also a baggie of extra screws for all of this, but I just used the ones for the expansion slots that I pulled out. You will have so many baggies whenever you start building computers if you do just more than one or two. There it went. Alright, and just give it a nice firm push. That's in. All that's in. So we're ready to get started on installing some fans and cable management. A lot of people in that last video I posted wondering how I got 3 fans in the bottom here. We'll show you that today. We did wind up dropping this AIO down just to give us more room at the top for a little bit of cable management from our 3 RGB fans that are going in the top, and then we're going to have 3 RGB fans going in the bottom, and then 1 RGB fan going in the back. One thing I do want to note, if you're going to put your AIO on this panel, on this back panel where mine is, that power cable is going to be real tight fit. So you're going to want to train that before you get it through there, and then when you get it through there, it's going to be a very, very tight fit. I kind of want to redo this and put this at the top, but the RGB on this is so pretty. Even though it's going to be blocked by a lot, it's going to be, I think it's way better looking RGB than the Cooler Master fans that I have. It just looks cleaner, and it matches the aesthetic of the entire case. You've got the Lian Li going on, so I do want that to be the most visible RGB in the case on those fans, so that's why I'm keeping it there. But yeah, if it wasn't a Lian Li, I would probably just go up there at the top with this AIO. Really, as long as your pump that's in here is lower than the tallest point of your radiator, you're fine. You just don't want, you wouldn't want to put this radiator on the bottom and then have your pump up here, because all the oxygen is going to go up in here, and it's just going to shorten the life of your pump. So always just try to have the pump not be the topmost part of the cooling loop. That's it. There's arguments all over the internet, just not at the highest point. That's the main thing to focus on. Everything else, it'll be okay. Just make sure the pump is not the highest point in the loop. You can see, a quick little update. One thing that you want to do is leave all of your fan screws pretty loose. You just want to get them in there. That way you can adjust them and slide them whenever you're doing your cable management. You maybe need to get them a little bit snugged some one way or another. And then that way also you can move them to make room for everything else you're cramming in here. Just wanted to make sure that that's pretty clear moving forward. One thing to note is I have all these cables that have these little extra daisy chain. With the power supply, it came with 3 of the cables, so I'm going to use 3 cables. This is a 3 8-pin, triple 8-pin PCIe. So on a graphics card this big, it can pull 450 watts if you put the right BIOS on it. So you're only getting 75 from the socket. So I want to make sure that I have. All right, so a lot of questions on the last video I posted in a build in this case. It says there's only support for 2 120 or 140 mil fans, and I've put 3 in every single case I built in. This is my 4th build in one of these cases. I'll show you guys mine here in a second. I've got a full custom loop, but the one thing you want to do is get all of your wiring at the bottom done, and then you're going to put these in, and this is going to slide up under the brackets for this. So it's going to now be past where your screw slots are. So you're only going to be able to get the screws on the inside, right? As long as they've got the rubber pads, the anti-vibration pads, that's fine. It doesn't move, right? So I just put the screws on the inside of here. So we'll push this wiring through. I should have done that before there we go. Alright. So that one's in, right? We're just gonna leave it loose for now. Put our next one in. Crapola. Didn't pay attention. These are gonna be intake. I wanna flip that. Alright. Fan cage. That's the way the air blows. So we'll just go through any of our slots down here at the bottom. You definitely want to make sure you get all of your bottom connectors for your front panel, all of that. So now this one's in the center. All 4 of these will be able to get screwed in, right? Same thing with this one. Going on the far right, you're only going to be able to get these 2 screws in from the back, obviously from the underneath is how you're screwing all of these in, right? So the middle one will get all 4 screws, and these 2 on the outside, you're only going to get these 2 screws, the inner screws in, right? Just screw them down tight. You have the rubber pads on your fans. It's fine. It'll be fine. But that's how you get 3 fans in the bottom very easily. And I've had mine running for a year now, and I've never once heard it vibrate. And I've never went back in and retightened these down. I've done it one time in my personal case, no vibrations whatsoever. I'll show you my case. So here's my case right here. I've got the full custom loop even, and with that I can only fit 2 at the top though, and I got 240. 240, my EK 240 pump is back there, but I've got the 3 fans down here, and I did the same thing, just put in these screws. No, yes on both of those are in. Those don't have any screws, so that's how you do that. You're not gonna have screws in on the outer edges of your fans, and it's gonna be fine. This thing is quiet. I've never once heard these fans vibrate, so anybody that says that, they don't have the rubber dampers on the corners, and you can get those for super cheap, or just buy fans that already have them. Thanks, y'all. And this is the mess we make when we're building our computer. Don't even have the power supply in yet, but everything is in on the front, so we are going to cable manage this, get the power supply in, power this puppy up. We'll be right back. Another pro tip, connect all of your power cables and stuff to your power supply before you slide it in. So once you get that in there and you're trying to, yeah, just do it. It's much easier. See, I can do this and put them on really easily. I can get both hands in here. Once you put this in there, it's a much tighter fit. You're gonna thank yourself for doing it outside of the slot it goes in. I couldn't hide all of my sins. I don't know. If I wanted to spend another hour doing this cable management, I could have, but that's good enough for me. Only two things I'm just, these are kind of, could get these over, but I'm out of zip ties right now, actually. Probably burnt through 20 zip ties, at least. So for those of you that are going to get into computer building yourselves, I would try to avoid liking RGB. It literally doubles the amount of cables that you have in your cases. So there's just that to think about. And it also kind of, if you really want to get a lot of RGB, you're going to want a lot of headers on the motherboard, or you'll have to run extra cables, like kind of like these fan splitters. They actually make RGB splitters as well, which adds even more cables into your build. So I would just avoid doing that if possible. And we are going to go hook this up to my monitor and power it on. All right, scary part. Whoops, I'm upside down. Scary part is very first boot up. Very first boot up. Come on. Post. All right, the mouse and keyboard are lighting up. I wonder what this looks like with that off. A little magnet. Oh, the Lian Li doesn't light up. I gotta peel this off too. Oh yeah. So this just covers up the Lian Li. Oh. It's kind of a neat little infinity mirror look. Make sure I'm on the right display. Why won't I? Oh, there we go. Fans are going. Why do I have not half of my RGB fans going though? What's going on here? We'll figure that out. I'll be right back. I was on the wrong thing. Yes, we're gonna reset that FTPM. Go straight into the BIOS. Are we boot looping? We're boot looping. So we were not boot looping, and we figured out the RGB. I forgot to plug in one of the headers in the back on one of the extensions. So it was just going through the initial boot up process. Yeah, there it is. Here it is. That little center piece on that is just a little magnet, and you just reach in there and pop it right off. Underneath of it, just plain white letters that says Lian Li on it. But it's kind of a little infinity mirror thing looking to it. So yeah, 3080. So we're good up and running. Got his stuff set up. I've benchmarked everything. Everything's running good. The temperatures are cool. The damn thing's quiet. I'm gonna activate the Wi-Fi right now. That way I can unplug this shit and yeah, he can't. Windows isn't activated. What? That's why this shit's. All right. I gotta activate Windows. Reported that the hardware on your device has changed. Huh. That's weird. All right. I will figure that out, and then I'll get this thing packed up and sent to you. Bye. Drivers updated. We have our motherboard had some issues here with this thing on the Wi-Fi driver. I'm getting ready to test that out though. That is the RTX 3080. Oh, and there is our Heaven benchmark. You see all of our presets there. Everything's set at extreme. Our temperature it topped out. It was like pinging between 69 and 70 on the temps. Yeah, this isn't a super heavy benchmark, but for the games that this little man's gonna be playing, this is more than what he's gonna be using it for. That's my beast of a computer. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. We've got all the drivers are updated BIOS. So there we go. That's it. Leaving the film on it for him to peel once this ships to him. He can peel that film off. Otherwise, we'd have a nice, really clear shot. I think it looks pretty good.